For centuries, the advanced alien civilizations that had spread across the Milky Way galaxy had viewed humanity as little more than a primitive, insignificant species. Trapped on their humble blue planet, the humans were deemed unworthy of inclusion in the grand interstellar community. The cosmic powers saw Earth as a resource to be exploited, a backwater world ripe for subjugation and assimilation. But the arrogant alien empires had underestimated the determination and ingenuity of the human race. Though they lagged behind technologically, the people of Earth possessed an indomitable spirit and a refusal to bow to foreign domination. When the first wave of alien invaders arrived in orbit, humanity steeled itself for a fight to the bitter end. The initial contact was made by a massive alien armada dispatched from the Typhon hegemony, a militaristic civilization that had long coveted Earth's abundant natural resources. Deploying advanced warships and intimidating robotic ground forces, the Typhons issued an ultimatum: surrender unconditionally or face total annihilation. Across the globe, world leaders convened in emergency sessions, desperately debating how to respond to this unprecedented threat. Some advocated for surrender, arguing that resisting the aliens' superior technology would be futile. But others, led by the charismatic United Nations Secretary-General Akiko Tanaka, refused to compromise humanity's hard-won freedoms. For centuries, we have been dismissed and overlooked by the so-called cosmic powers, Tanaka declared in a televised address. But no longer. The time has come for us to stand up and fight for our rightful place in the galaxy. We will not submit to alien domination. We will meet their invasion with the full force of our resolve. Tanaka's impassioned words galvanized the people of Earth, sparking a surge of patriotic fervor and determination. Across the globe, anti-alien protest movements swelled, while hackers and cybersecurity experts worked tirelessly to fortify critical infrastructure against the Typhon's digital attacks. Even as the alien warships continued to mass in orbit, a spirit of unity and defiance swept through humanity. The Typhon commanders, accustomed to easy victories, were taken aback by this unexpected resistance. They had assumed the primitive humans would crumple in the face of their technological might, but the determination and ingenuity of the Earthlings proved far more formidable than anticipated. As the standoff dragged on, the Typhons grew increasingly impatient. Their supply lines were strained, and their political masters back home were demanding results. Convinced that a demonstration of overwhelming force would cow the humans into submission, the alien generals ordered a devastating bombardment of key military and industrial targets across the planet. Raining down waves of plasma torpedoes and precision-guided missiles, the Typhon Armada unleashed a hellish barrage that laid waste to cities and infrastructure. Millions perished in the initial assault, and the human defenders seemed hopelessly outmatched by the aliens' superior firepower. But just as the Typhons were preparing to deliver the final, crushing blow, something unexpected happened. Scattered reports began filtering in of alien systems experiencing catastrophic malfunctions, navigation computers locking up, weapons systems going offline, and even entire warships suffering unexplained power failures and crashes. The Typhon commanders were baffled. Their technology was state-of-the-art, their scientific knowledge unparalleled. Yet the more they pushed their arsenal against the humans, the more their advanced systems seemed to falter. Grappling with this mysterious phenomenon, they were forced to call a temporary halt to the bombardment, buying precious time for the people of Earth. In the halls of power, Secretary-General Tanaka and her advisors huddled to assess this unexpected turn of events. They knew the respite would be brief, that the Typhons would soon find a way to overcome whatever was disrupting their systems. The fate of the human race hung in the balance, and decisive action would be required to seize this narrow window of opportunity. Our scientists must get to the bottom of this, Tanaka declared. We need to understand why the aliens' technology is failing, and how we can leverage that to our advantage. Assemble the brightest minds on the planet. We'll give them whatever resources they need. The survival of our species depends on it. As the Typhon commanders conferred anxiously, debating their next move. Teams of human scientists and engineers undertook a frantic race against time. Scouring every scrap of data and telemetry they could gather, they worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery at the heart of the alien system's malfunctions. The fate of the world now hung in the balance. Could humanity find a way to turn the tables on their would-be conquerors? Or would the cosmic powers crush the defiant Earthlings beneath their technological boot heel? The future of the planet had never been more uncertain. As the Typhon Armada paused its relentless bombardment, humanity seized the opportunity to go on the offensive. Across the globe, the nations of Earth put aside their petty differences and rivalries, uniting under a single banner in the face of the alien threat. Leading this unprecedented effort was Dr. Emily Williams, a brilliant scientist and former NASA engineer who had been recruited to head the newly formed Global Defense Initiative. Assembling the greatest minds from every field, physicists, computer scientists, aerospace engineers, and more, Dr. Williams spearheaded a crash program to develop game-changing new technologies that could turn the tide of the war. "We've been underestimated and dismissed for far too long," Dr. Williams declared to her team of researchers. "But now we have a chance, a real chance, to show the cosmic powers that humanity is a force to be reckoned with. No more holding back. It's time to unleash our full potential." Working around the clock in secret facilities, the human scientists and engineers made rapid breakthroughs. Drawing inspiration from the mysterious malfunctions afflicting the Typhon systems, they explored new frontiers in fields like electromagnetic manipulation, gravitational engineering, and even quantum computing. One particularly promising avenue of research centered around harnessing the unique properties of Earth's magnetic field. By developing specialized shielding and targeting systems, the team believed they could potentially disrupt or even disable the aliens' advanced propulsion and weapon systems. It was a risky gambit, but one that could give humanity the edge it desperately needed. Parallel efforts focused on the creation of powerful new armaments, plasma cannons, antimatter warheads, and swarms of autonomous combat drones. The human military-industrial complex was operating at a feverish pace, marshaling every resource and scrap of manufacturing capacity to equip the defenders of Earth. As the Typhon commanders grew increasingly frustrated by their technological failures, the people of Earth braced for the inevitable counterattack. They knew the alien invaders would not be deterred for long, and that when the bombardment resumed, it would be with a vengeance. Sure enough, after several tense days of inactivity, the Typhon fleet sprang back into action. This time, they deployed their most advanced assets: heavily armored assault landers, legions of battle-hardened robotic soldiers, and even massive artillery platforms capable of leveling entire cities with a single salvo. The human defenders, fortified by their new experimental technologies, met the alien onslaught head-on. Swarms of agile combat drones soared through the skies, unleashing barrages of precision-guided munitions that overwhelmed the aliens' defensive systems. Powerful electromagnetic pulse weapons disrupted the Typhon's electronic infrastructure, sowing chaos and confusion in their ranks. Most impressively, the human military unveiled its secret weapon: a fleet of advanced spacecraft armed with devastating plasma cannons and graviton-based propulsion systems. These cutting-edge vessels, dubbed Valkyries by their pilots, were a testament to the ingenuity and determination of their creators. Darting between the hulking alien warships, they delivered devastating strikes that sent the Typhons reeling. As the battle raged, the human scientists continued to analyze the data streaming in from the front lines. They were closing in on the root cause of the Typhon's technological failures, and Dr. Williams knew that unlocking this mystery could be the key to turning the tide of the war. "There's something about the Earth's environment, its magnetic fields, its gravitational properties, that is disrupting the alien systems," she told her team. "We need to find a way to weaponize this, to create a force multiplier that will paralyze their entire invasion force." Feverishly working through the night, the researchers ran simulations, tested new prototypes, and pored over every scrap of data they could gather. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and there was no room for error. Finally, after days of intense effort, a breakthrough was made. By reconfiguring their electromagnetic shielding systems and incorporating advanced gravitational manipulation capabilities, the human engineers had developed a game-changing new technology. When deployed, it would create a localized distortion field that could cripple the Typhon's advanced propulsion and weapon systems. "This is it, people," Dr. Williams announced to her team, a triumphant gleam in her eyes. "We've found our edge. Now it's time to show the cosmic powers what humanity is truly capable of." With their new arsenal of devastating weapons ready, the human defenders braced themselves for the next round of the battle. The sleeping giant had been awakened, and it was about to unleash its fury upon the unsuspecting alien invaders. As the Typhon Armada resumed its assault, the human defenders unleashed their newly developed arsenal of advanced technologies. Wave after wave of sleek, nimble Valkyrie spacecraft darted between the hulking alien warships, their plasma cannons carving through the invaders' defenses with terrifying ease. Accompanying the Valkyries were swarms of autonomous combat drones, their electronic warfare suites overwhelming the Typhon's communications and targeting systems. Meanwhile, specialized electromagnetic pulse weapons rained down from the skies, shutting down entire sections of the alien fleet. The human counterattack was swift, precise, and devastating. The once confident Typhon commanders found themselves increasingly frustrated and bewildered as their technological superiority crumbled before their eyes. "How is this possible?" the lead Typhon general snarled, slamming his fist against the tactical display as another of his warships disintegrated under the human onslaught. Their primitive weapons should be nothing more than an annoyance. But the Earthlings' unexpected capability was no annoyance. It was a full-blown rout. The Valkyries and their deadly plasma salvos carved through the alien fleet with impunity, while the electromagnetic pulse weapons rendered the Typhon's advanced systems utterly useless. Desperate to regain the upper hand, the invaders poured more and more forces into the battle, committing their most powerful assets to the fray. Towering assault landers disgorged legions of battle-hardened robotic soldiers who swarmed towards key human strongholds. Yet even these elite alien troops proved no match for the tenacity and ingenuity of the human defenders. Equipped with advanced powered armor and cutting-edge energy weapons, the Earthling soldiers stood their ground, unleashing withering barrages that cut the robotic invaders to shreds. "They're disrupting our technology somehow," one of the Typhon commanders reported, his voice laced with a rare note of panic. "Nothing is working. Our navigation, our weapons, even our troop transports are failing." The lead general let out a guttural roar of frustration. "Then we'll crush them with pure force of numbers. Deploy the heavy artillery platforms, level their cities to the ground." Massive, lumbering alien artillery pieces rumbled into position, their gargantuan plasma cannons primed to pulverize the human population centers. But just as they were about to open fire, a series of brilliant flashes rippled across the alien formations. The Typhon general watched in disbelief as one by one, the artillery platforms lost power and toppled to the ground, their weapons falling silent. A growing sense of dread crept up his spine as he realized that whatever force was disrupting his force's technology was only growing stronger. "Pull back the ground troops," he ordered frantically. "Get the fleet into higher orbit. We need to regroup and recalibrate." But as the surviving Typhon ships attempted to disengage, they found themselves trapped, their engines sputtering and their navigational systems in disarray. Caught in the grip of the Earth's magnetic fields and gravitational anomalies, the alien vessels were helpless to escape the human counterattack. On the ground, the robotic soldiers froze in place, their advanced circuitry overwhelmed by the invisible forces disrupting their core functions. The human defenders, seizing the initiative, closed in with their energy weapons blazing, tearing the helpless invaders to shreds. It was a rout, a humiliation of epic proportions for the once mighty Typhon hegemony. Their technological edge, the very foundation of their galactic dominance, had been utterly shattered by the clever and resilient Earthlings. As the battle raged, a stunned silence fell over the human command centers. The scientists and engineers who had developed these game-changing new weapons stared at the unfolding carnage with a mix of awe and disbelief. "It's working," Dr. Williams breathed, her eyes glued to the tactical displays. "Our countermeasures are disrupting their systems. We found their weakness." Across the globe, the people of Earth watched the tide of the battle turn, their spirits soaring as the alien invaders were pushed back. What had once seemed an impossible, hopeless fight was now transforming into a stunning human victory. Secretary General Tanaka, her face set with grim determination, addressed the world once more. "This is only the beginning," she declared. "The cosmic powers have underestimated us for far too long. Now the sleeping giant has awakened, and we will show them the full extent of our power." As the Typhon fleet limped away, its pride and technological superiority shattered, the human defenders knew that a new era was dawning. The balance of power in the galaxy had been irrevocably altered, and Earth was ready to take its rightful place among the cosmic powers. The battle for humanity's future was far from over, but on this day, the people of Earth had proven that they were more than a match for even the mightiest alien civilizations. The sleeping giant had risen, and the cosmos would never be the same. As the battered Typhon fleet fled deeper into space, the human defenders paused to take stock of their remarkable victory. The sight of the mighty alien armada retreating in disarray was a stunning reversal that left the people of Earth reeling with a mix of triumph and disbelief. "We did it," Secretary General Tanaka exclaimed, her face alight with exhilaration. "Against all odds, we've turned the tables on the cosmic powers. This is a new dawn for humanity." In the aftermath of the battle, teams of scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to analyze the data and understand the full scope of their accomplishment. What they discovered would have far-reaching implications not just for the ongoing conflict, but for humanity's place in the galactic order. "The disruptions we've observed in the Typhon systems are not isolated incidents," Dr. Williams reported, addressing the global leaders assembled in an emergency summit. "There's something about Earth's unique electromagnetic and gravitational properties that is fundamentally at odds with the advanced technologies used by the alien civilizations." Further investigation revealed that the planet's magnetic fields and gravitational anomalies were creating localized distortions and interference that rendered the invaders' sophisticated propulsion, weapons, and communication systems effectively useless. Attempts to overcome these environmental factors had met with abject failure, leaving the Typhons paralyzed and unable to effectively counter the human counterattack. "It's as if the very fabric of our world is rejecting the intrusion of these alien forces," Dr. Williams continued, her tone equal parts amazement and wonder. "Whatever it is that makes Earth unique, it gives us a distinct technological and strategic advantage that the cosmic powers have never encountered before." The implications of this discovery were staggering. For centuries, humanity had been dismissed and overlooked by the advanced alien civilizations that dominated the galaxy. But now, the tables had turned. Earth's inherent characteristics had emerged as a powerful, game-changing asset that could not be ignored. This means we no longer have to rely on reverse engineering their technology or trying to catch up to their level of development, Secretary General Tanaka declared. "We have found our own path to power, one that gives us an edge the cosmic powers couldn't have predicted. The future is ours to forge on our own terms." Emboldened by this revelation, the human leadership moved swiftly to capitalize on their newfound advantages. They poured resources into further developing and refining the countermeasure technologies that had so decisively defeated the Typhon invasion, creating an ever-expanding arsenal of electromagnetic and gravitational weapons. At the same time, teams of scientists embarked on a mission to thoroughly map and understand the complex interplay between Earth's environmental factors and the advanced alien systems. The more they learned, the clearer it became that this was no mere anomaly. It was a fundamental systemic weakness inherent to the cosmic powers' technological base. Their propulsion, their communications, their weapons, It's all built around principles that simply don't work the same way on our planet, one of the lead researchers explained. They'd grown complacent, relying on a technological superiority that we can now negate. We hold the keys to their Achilles heel. As news of humanity's stunning victory and newfound strategic advantages spread through the galaxy, the cosmic powers found themselves facing a stark, unsettling reality. The primitive, insignificant species they had long dismissed had emerged as a force to be reckoned with, one that could potentially upset the delicate balance of power that had prevailed for millennia. The Siphon hegemony, once a dominant galactic superpower, was now in a state of crisis. Their humiliating defeat had shattered the myth of their technological supremacy, and they knew that they would need to radically rethink their approach if they hoped to ever defeat the stubborn Earthlings. But the Siphons were not the only ones unnerved by humanity's rise. Across the galaxy, other advanced civilizations closely monitored the unfolding events, reassessing their views of the once insignificant human race. What had once been a mere curiosity was now a looming threat, one that could no longer be ignored. The cosmic powers, so secure in their dominance, now found themselves confronted with a stark reality. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the balance of power in the galaxy was about to undergo a seismic shift. The future was no longer certain, and the Earthlings held the keys to their downfall. As the human leaders convened to plot their next moves, they knew that this was just the beginning of a long and arduous struggle. The cosmic powers would not relinquish their position without a fight. But for the first time in human history, the people of Earth held the advantage, and they were determined to forge a new destiny for their species, one where they would no longer be dismissed or overlooked. The stage was set for a titanic clash that would reverberate across the stars. The cosmic powers had been paralyzed, and humanity was poised to seize its rightful place in the galaxy. As the human defenders continued to push back the demoralized Siphon forces, Dr. Emily Williams and her team of scientists worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery at the heart of Earth's unexpected technological edge. What was it about the planet's unique environmental factors that rendered the cosmic powers' advanced systems so vulnerable? Analyzing every scrap of data and telemetry gathered during the recent battle, the researchers made a series of fascinating discoveries. It wasn't just the planet's magnetic fields that were causing disruptions. The very fabric of Earth's gravitational forces seemed to be at odds with the principles underlying the alien civilization's technologies. Their propulsion, their communications, even their most powerful weapon systems, they all rely on principles that simply don't work the same way on our world. Dr. Williams explained to the global leaders assembled in an emergency summit. It's as if the fundamental laws of physics that govern their technological base are being warped and distorted by Earth's natural characteristics. Further investigation revealed that the problem ran much deeper than just simple electromagnetic or gravitational interference. The advanced materials and exotic particles utilized in the cosmic powers' most cutting-edge systems appeared to be heavily influenced, even destabilized, by the unique properties of the human homeworld. It's almost as if our planet is rejecting their intrusion, like an immune system fighting off a foreign pathogen. One of the lead researchers observed, "Whatever it is that makes Earth so special, it's proving to be a nearly insurmountable obstacle for the alien civilizations." Fascinated by this revelation, the human scientists delved deeper, exploring the esoteric realms of quantum physics and cosmology in search of answers. What was it about the fundamental nature of their world that gave them such a profound advantage over the seemingly more advanced cosmic powers? As the investigation progressed, an extraordinary theory began to take shape. The planet's complex geomagnetic field, its unique gravitational anomalies, and even the precise arrangement of its orbital parameters were all key factors in creating a localized environment that was fundamentally incompatible with the technological foundations of the alien empires. It's almost as if Earth has its own natural firewall against the intrusion of foreign technology. Dr. Williams mused, her eyes alight with wonder. Like a living, breathing defense mechanism that has evolved over billions of years to protect our world from cosmic threats. This revelation had staggering implications. For centuries, humanity had been forced to play catch-up with the advanced alien civilizations that dominated the galaxy. But now, it seemed that the very planet they called home had been guarding a secret power, one that could potentially tip the balance of power in their favor. "We're not just dealing with a tactical or technological advantage here," Secretary General Tanaka declared, her voice ringing with a newfound confidence. "This is about the fundamental nature of our world and how it provides us with an intrinsic edge that the cosmic powers cannot overcome." Emboldened by this knowledge, the human leaders moved swiftly to capitalize on their discovery. Teams of scientists and engineers were dispatched to every corner of the globe, tasked with mapping the full extent of Earth's mysterious protective properties. Meanwhile, the military began devising new weapons and countermeasures that could harness these natural advantages to devastating effect. As the preparations intensified, word of humanity's astonishing triumph over the Typhon invasion spread across the galaxy. The cosmic powers, long accustomed to their technological superiority, found themselves confronted with a stark and unsettling reality. The once insignificant human race had emerged as a formidable force to be reckoned with. The Typhon hegemony, their pride shattered by their humiliating defeat, scrambled to regroup and devise a new strategy. But their attempts to overcome the disruptions caused by Earth's environment only met with further failure, leaving them increasingly frustrated and desperate. "How is this possible?" the Typhon general snarled, slamming his fist against the tactical console. "Their primitive technology should be no match for our might. What sorcery is this?" But it was no sorcery. It was the fundamental, intrinsic nature of the human homeworld, a power that the cosmic powers had never before encountered. And as the other advanced civilizations in the galaxy watched the unfolding events with growing unease, they realized that this was more than just a single conflict. It was the dawn of a new era, one in which humanity would no longer be dismissed or overlooked. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the balance of power in the cosmos was about to be forever altered. The cosmic powers, long secure in their dominance, now faced a threat unlike any they had ever known. Earth's mysterious advantage had become humanity's greatest weapon, and they were poised to wield it with devastating effect. As the preparations for the next phase of the conflict intensified, a palpable sense of optimism and determination swept through the people of Earth. For the first time in their history, they were no longer the underdogs. They were the masters of their own destiny, ready to take their rightful place among the stars. The cosmic powers had been paralyzed, and the sleeping giant had awakened. The future belonged to humanity, and they were ready to fight for it. As the Typhon hegemony reeled from their devastating losses, the leadership in the distant alien capital convened an emergency council. The humiliating defeat at the hands of the supposedly primitive human race had shaken the very foundations of their galactic empire, and drastic measures would be required to salvage their position. "This cannot be allowed to stand," the Typhon High Commander thundered, his tentacles lashing with barely contained fury. "Our technological superiority is the bedrock of our power. How can a backwater planet like Earth dare to challenge us?" The other commanders, their own pride injured by the unexpected rout, offered a range of proposals. Some advocated for a renewed assault, this time with even greater firepower and resources committed. Others argued for a diplomatic solution, hoping to broker a humiliating surrender from the stubborn Earthlings. But the High Commander would have none of it. In his mind, there was only one acceptable course of action: the complete and utter subjugation of the human race, no matter the cost. "We will not negotiate, and we will not retreat," he declared, his voice cold and unyielding. "If the humans have found a way to negate our technological might, then we shall respond with a display of power that will leave them trembling in fear." Turning to his chief scientific advisor, the High Commander issued a chilling directive. "Activate the Doomsday Contingency. Deploy the planet killers. Wipe the Earth from the stars." The advisor's eyes widened in alarm. "But, honored Commander, surely that is an extreme measure. The collateral damage, the loss of resources." I care not for your concerns," the High Commander roared, silencing the advisor with a gesture. "This is a matter of the hegemony's survival. If we cannot conquer the humans through conventional means, then we shall eliminate them entirely. Prepare the fleet at once." Recognizing the futility of further argument, the advisor hastened to carry out the High Commander's orders. Within hours, the Siphon Armada was mobilizing, its most powerful vessels breaking off from the main force and making a beeline for the Milky Way's outer rim. There, in a remote sector largely untouched by sentient activity, the hegemony maintained a closely guarded cache of devastating planet-destroying weapons, colossal antimatter warheads capable of annihilating an entire world in a single cataclysmic strike. As the human defenders on Earth monitored the alien movements with growing unease, Dr. Emily Williams and her team raced to decipher the implications of this sudden shift. They're pulling back their main fleet, but a smaller force is heading out towards the fringes of the system, one of the analysts reported, his brow furrowed with concern. "We're detecting massive energy readings. It looks like they're preparing to deploy some kind of heavy ordnance." Dr. Williams' eyes narrowed as the pieces fell into place. "Planet killers," she murmured, her voice laced with dread. "They're going for the doomsday option." Relaying the disturbing intelligence to Secretary General Tanaka, the human leaders convened an emergency council to determine their next course of action. They knew that the Siphons, backed into a corner, would stop at nothing to eliminate the troublesome human race once and for all. "We have to find a way to stop them," Tanaka said grimly. "If those weapons reach Earth, there may be no saving us." But the options were limited. The human military, while bolstered by the new electromagnetic and gravitational countermeasures, was still no match for the raw destructive power of the alien planet-killing arsenal. Even with their technological edge, the defenders of Earth knew they could not withstand such a devastating onslaught. As the clock ticked down, tensions rose within the human command centers. Scientists and military strategists alike struggled to devise a plan that could neutralize the incoming Siphon threat before it was too late. The fate of the entire planet hung in the balance. Finally, after hours of frantic deliberation, a daring, some would say reckless, proposal emerged. By harnessing the very properties of Earth's environment that had proven so disruptive to the alien technologies, the human engineers believed they could create a defensive grid capable of intercepting and neutralizing the planet killers before they reached their target. "It's our only chance," Dr. Williams declared, her eyes blazing with determination. "If we can recreate the same electromagnetic and gravitational disruptions that crippled the Siphon fleet, we might be able to stop those warheads in their tracks." Tanaka nodded grimly. "Then we have no choice. Activate the countermeasure grid. Prepare for the final battle." As the human forces scrambled to implement their desperate gambit, the Siphon Armada closed in, its planet-destroying payload primed and ready. The cosmic powers had been paralyzed, their technological superiority rendered useless by the stubborn defenders of Earth. Now, faced with the prospect of total annihilation, the alien invaders were prepared to unleash their most devastating weapon. The stage was set for a climactic showdown that would determine the fate of humanity, and perhaps the entire galaxy. Could the people of Earth find a way to turn the Typhon's own desperation against them? Or would the cosmic powers ultimately prevail with their doomsday gambit? The tension in the human command centers was palpable as the Siphon Armada bore down on Earth, its deadly payload of planet-killing antimatter warheads primed and ready. The fate of the entire planet hung in the balance, and the defenders knew that their desperate gambit to neutralize the alien doomsday weapons was their last and only hope. As the Typhon ships approached the outer edge of the solar system, the human countermeasure grid sprang into action. Specially engineered electromagnetic emitters and gravitational distortion generators blanketed the area, creating a powerful force field that disrupted the alien technology with devastating effect. The Siphon vessels, their advanced propulsion and navigational systems crippled by the intense environmental interference, found themselves trapped and unable to continue their suicidal mission. One by one, the planet killers locked onto their targets, only to have their guidance systems overwhelmed and their warheads rendered inert. "It's working," Dr. Emily Williams exclaimed, her eyes fixed on the tactical displays as the alien fleet was reduced to a helpless, drifting mass. "The countermeasure grid is neutralizing their doomsday weapons. We're saving the planet." Across the globe, the people of Earth erupted into cheers and celebrations as news of the impending victory spread. For years, they had been dismissed and overlooked by the cosmic powers, but now they had proven their worth in the most dramatic fashion possible. "This is a new dawn for humanity," Secretary General Tanaka declared, her voice ringing with pride and triumph. "We have stared down the mightiest civilizations in the galaxy, and we have emerged victorious. The sleeping giant has awakened, and the cosmos will never be the same." As the Typhon fleet drifted helplessly, its commanders grappling with the reality of their defeat, the human defenders pressed their advantage. Unleashing the full force of their advanced weaponry, they systematically dismantled the remaining alien ships, leaving the once formidable hegemony a broken and demoralized shell of its former self. The battle was over, and the cosmic powers had been humbled. For the first time in their history, the human race had triumphed over the advanced alien civilizations that had long dominated the galaxy. It was a victory that would reverberate through the stars, shattering the myth of the cosmic powers' technological superiority. In the aftermath, a stunned silence fell over the galactic community as the extent of the Typhon's defeat became clear. The other alien empires, who had long dismissed humanity as a primitive, insignificant species, now found themselves confronted with a stark and unsettling reality. The sleeping giant had awakened, and it held the keys to their downfall. "This changes everything," the leader of the Zeronian collective murmured, his eyes narrowed with a mixture of caution and respect. "If the Earthlings can negate our technological advantages so completely, then we can no longer underestimate them." Across the galaxy, the cosmic powers convened emergency summits, desperately trying to devise a coherent strategy in the face of this unexpected development. The balance of power had been irrevocably altered, and they knew that the days of their unquestioned dominance were numbered. Meanwhile, on Earth, the people celebrated their hard-won triumph with a newfound sense of pride and purpose. They had proven their worth, not just to the alien civilizations, but to themselves. The sleeping giant had awakened, and it was ready to take its rightful place among the stars. "This is just the beginning," Secretary General Tanaka announced, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "We have tasted victory, and now we will demand our place at the table of galactic governance. The cosmic powers will no longer be able to dismiss or overlook us." Buoyed by their success, the human leadership moved swiftly to capitalize on their newfound leverage. They dispatched emissaries to the various alien empires, issuing bold demands for reparations, technology transfers, and a permanent seat in the interstellar community. The cosmic powers, still reeling from their humiliation, found themselves with little choice but to acquiesce. Faced with the prospect of further conflict with the tenacious and resourceful Earthlings, they begrudgingly agreed to the human terms, recognizing that the balance of power had irrevocably shifted. For the first time in their history, the people of Earth found themselves on an equal footing with the advanced alien civilizations that had long dominated the galaxy. Their victory over the Typhon hegemony had proven that they were no longer mere primitives to be dismissed, but a force to be reckoned with, a sleeping giant that had finally awakened to claim its rightful place among the stars. As the human delegates took their seats at the galactic table, a new era dawned, one in which the cosmic powers would be forced to contend with the rising human empire, a development that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. In the aftermath of humanity's stunning triumph over the Typhon hegemony, the global leaders of Earth found themselves in an unfamiliar and empowering position. For centuries, their species had been viewed as little more than a backwater curiosity by the advanced alien civilizations that dominated the galaxy. But now, everything had changed. The people of Earth had proven their worth, not just as resilient fighters, but as resourceful and innovative pioneers capable of matching the cosmic powers on their own terms. And with this newfound leverage, they were determined to seize their rightful place in the galactic community. "This is a momentous occasion for our species," Secretary General Akiko Tanaka declared before the assembled representatives of the alien empires. Her voice was calm and measured, but her eyes shone with a steely determination. "For too long we have been dismissed and overlooked, but no more. The sleeping giant has awakened, and we will no longer be denied our place among the stars." The cosmic powers, still reeling from their humiliating defeat, had little choice but to acquiesce to the human demands. Faced with the prospect of further conflict with the tenacious and resourceful Earthlings, they begrudgingly agreed to a series of concessions, reparations, technology transfers, and most significantly, a permanent seat for humanity in the interstellar governing body. "We acknowledge the significant contributions that the human race has made to the galactic community," the Zeronian Collective's representative stated, his tone laced with a hint of resentment. "As such, we are willing to grant Earth a seat at the table, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. For the people of Earth, this was a monumental achievement, the culmination of centuries of struggle, and the realization of a dream that had once seemed hopelessly out of reach. No longer would they be relegated to the sidelines, forced to play catch-up with the advanced alien civilizations. They had earned their place through blood, sweat, and the sheer force of their determination. This is a new dawn for humanity," Dr. Emily Williams, the brilliant scientist who had spearheaded the development of the game-changing countermeasure technologies, proclaimed to a cheering crowd. "We have proven that we are more than just a primitive species. We are innovators, pioneers, and defenders of our world. And now we will take our rightful place among the cosmic powers, shaping the future of the galaxy alongside them." As the human delegates took their seats at the Interstellar Governing Council, the other alien representatives eyed them with a mix of caution and grudging respect. The days of their unquestioned dominance were over, and they knew that the rise of the human empire would forever alter the delicate balance of power that had prevailed for millennia. "We must tread carefully," the Typhon High Commander warned his fellow cosmic leaders, his voice laced with a rare note of uncertainty. "The Earthlings have shown that they possess a power we never anticipated, one that could potentially threaten the very foundations of our civilization." Indeed, the human representatives wasted no time in asserting their newfound influence, leveraging their unique technological advantages and their unwavering determination to push for sweeping changes in the way the galactic community operated. They demanded greater transparency, fairer resource allocation, and an end to the exploitation of lesser-developed worlds, a bold agenda that sent shockwaves through the established order. For too long, the cosmic powers have operated in their own self-interest, with little regard for the well-being of the smaller civilizations under their dominion, Tanaka declared, her words echoing through the halls of the Interstellar Council chamber. "That era is over. Humanity will not stand idly by while the rights and freedoms of others are trampled. We will be a force for positive change, a champion for justice and equality in the galaxy." The other alien representatives found themselves caught off guard by the human delegates' unwavering resolve and their willingness to challenge the status quo. Accusations of primitive idealism and naive utopianism were quickly met with reminders of Earth's decisive military triumph and the formidable technological advantages that the human race now possessed. "We are no longer the weak, insignificant species you once dismissed," one of the human delegates, a brilliant young scientist named Amara Patel, stated plainly. "We have carved out our own path to power, and we will use that power to reshape the galaxy in a way that benefits all civilizations, not just the cosmic elite." As the debates raged on, it became increasingly clear that the arrival of the human empire on the galactic stage would usher in a new era of change and upheaval. The cosmic powers, long secure in their dominance, now found themselves facing an adversary unlike any they had encountered before, one that refused to be cowed or intimidated, and whose vision for the future of the galaxy directly challenged their own. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the cosmos would never be the same. The human race, once dismissed and overlooked, now held the keys to the future, a future where they would no longer be content to play by the rules set forth by the established order. A new dawn had arrived, and the people of Earth were ready to forge their own destiny among the stars.